right, I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for this one.
What is that? What am I seeing here?
You are seeing an ornate silver dragon aerator that I got when I was in Napa.
Oh
Because who
my
wants a normal
God.
aerator? You can get something that looks like it should belong on a Christmas tree
That
or nightmares. I don't know.
that is pretty cool. I was not expecting to see that on the top of your bottle as you were pouring.
It's so much fun. I have an aerator now. I learned stuff.
That is pretty cool. Did you pick that up in Napa?
Yeah, I got it in Napa. It was awesome. I went to, everyone was pouring stuff out of aerators, and I was like, okay, I shut my game. No, it was super cool, man. We didn't talk about that much, but like went to a whole bunch of wineries, went to Gurgage Hills, went to Stag's Leap, went to Air, just went to a bunch of places. I gotta say, I didn't realize that Napa was just like, and this is gonna be stupid on my part, that it's really just like one long road up the center of Napa Valley, and like every vineyard that you can imagine is on that road. Then the bigger estates are like little roads off that road, like up into the mountains. But like you just drive up from Napa into like St. Helena and so on, and it's just so cool. You just see all these names
Sounds
of places that you just have seen forever. It's really awesome.
That's very cool.
It's just beautiful. It's like the greatest place on earth. It's just gorgeous. The wine is good. If I could live somewhere, just drink wine. God, I'd love to move to Napa.
I repeatedly recommended to my wife that we quit our jobs, move to Napa, and become just vineyard owners, but she told me that was unreasonable.
Slightly.
That's probably good advice.
I would agree.
It's a good goal, but I wouldn't do it
know.
today. Can I tell you what I love too? Can I tell you one thing? Because I know you're in Napa, and you didn't let it rub off onto you too hard, because I just imagine everybody else with their little aerators that are, little glass, little beautiful things. And you're like, I'm going to get the one that is straight out of Game of Thrones and will essentially vomit wine into my glass. Well done, sir.
It was between this one and a T-Rex.
Oh. Ooh. Might I say you chose poorly?
Yeah.
I don't know. I reached for the dragon first, and then I asked my wife, I said, which one? She went, where did your heart take you first? And so I went with the dragon.
Awesome. Did the T-Rex have arms?
Answer. That's a good question.
No, it was just like a very elaborate T-Rex head.
Okay, well,
like the dragon, I get the end, it's breathing fire, but the T-Rex would just be puking.
You chose well.
If it had arms, you would have had to go T-Rex 100%.
Just sticking out the top of the bottle, just with the head.
For the record, I was 100% imagining little T-Rex arms too on it. Yeah, not as cool with that.
Or, guys, $1 million idea that we're going to keep between the three of us.
Sure.
You sell the T-Rex head aerator, and then there's little arms that strap to the side of the bottle.
Fantastic. give me a prototype by next week.
And a little tail.
Yeah.
That is gold.
Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On today's episode, we review
a red wine from Portugal.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us again. I am Joel, and as always, I am joined by two of the most trivial people in my life. Wait a minute, not sure that came out the right way.
Trivial.
Colin and Aaron, how are you guys?
Usually starts with a compliment, but I don't know if that was a compliment.
Here's what I meant. In my head, I was thinking good at trivia, fans of trivia.
That's true.
100% true. Yeah, I
love trivia.
Yeah, we played a little bit. Did not come out the way that I intended, so it came out in kind of a trivial way. Hey.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
how we doing?
All right.
How we doing?
Colin, you a big trivia buff?
I'm terrible at trivia. I enjoy playing it. I'll pull a surprising answer out every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm the guy on the team that's just like, yeah, I agree with whatever.
Every team needs that guy. You're the hype up guy.
I'm the guy. Yeah. That's right. I'm there for.
Gotta be there. Gotta have a team of six. You're six man.
100%. Do you want to know? You want to know what I learned actually about trivia recently? It's funny. I said this. I forgot about this until I put this out here. But do you know where the word trivia comes from? I just learned this. I thought it was interesting. It's one of those things where I've always just kind of accepted it as a word in my life, but I never really went down the rabbit hole of what it is. Okay. So it comes from the Latin word trivialis, okay, which refers to belonging to the crossroads of public streets. So like if you think of the crossroads in a street, there's really 3 points to it, the one you're coming from, and then the 2 you could go to, right? So the idea was like, it's commonplace. You could find it, it's there. Everybody knows it. So that's where it comes from. Isn't that kind of crazy? I never, yeah.
That's a fun.
I feel like
fact.
I almost
Most fun fact
guessed trivialis as a joke.
You would have
Like
been
Latin
really
word
spot on.
trivialis.
That would have been so impressive
No.
if you did. You just went with your gut and threw it out there.
No, that's great though. That's good. That's a good fun fact, Joel.
Thank
That is
you.
a good fun fact. It sounded like a Harry Potter spell to me, though. If I'm being
Trivialis.
Trivialis. Totally Harry Potter.
It just makes the person start mumbling things that no one cares about.
There you go.
I have a piece of trivia from my Napa trip.
Yeah.
All right, so it's crazy. So we went and visited Stag's Leap, which when we visited it first, I thought it was Stag's Leap of the Judgment of Paris Stag's Leap that won. But when we got there was this whole weird big thing about whether or not you're going to the correct Stag's Leap, because there are 2 right next to each other. There's a Stag's Leap region, but then there's 2 Stag's Leap vineyards in the same area. They're like a mile from each other. And one is spelled Stag's Leap, STAG''S, and the other one is Stag's Leap, STAGS''. And they're
Confusing.
they're 2 completely different estates, and they actually had a big legal battle years back with one of them wanted the name. The apostrophe S is the one with the winemaker affiliated with the Judgment of Paris, but the S apostrophe was also like a very long-term Napa Valley winemaker. They're both very respected vineyards, but they got in a battle over the name because the name was associated with the region, and they both named their vineyards after the region. So if you ever go to Napa, there's 2 Stag's Leaps right next to each other, and you have to pay attention to where the apostrophe is to know which one you're going to. And even their picture on their bottles are slightly different, because the Stag's Leap that is S apostrophe has a leaping stag, and the Stag's Leap that is apostrophe S has a standing stag on each of their bottles.
Okay.
That's wild. I had no idea. I honestly had no idea.
I had no idea. Right? And also, doesn't it make you like, wouldn't just the first one there keep the name, and then the second one, get creative?
It was like all around the same time. It was all these Napa places kind of started up, really going in like the 60s, 70s. And then it wasn't until after the Judgment of Paris, when there was the notoriety for the other Stag's Leap, that they were like, well, wait, this is our name, and then they got into a battle, because I think the other one might have come a little bit earlier, but they weren't the one with the free advertising associated with the popularity of the competition. So just really, really neat fact. Both very cool.
And I guess what you're saying too is I shouldn't move to Atlanta to open Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. I can see
that you took away exactly what I was saying, Joel. You nailed it.
Okay, so do or don't do that, because I think this has a lot of
just add an apostrophe at the end.
There we go. Okay,
there you go.
Coca-Colas.
I'm in.
Coca's Cola.
Coca's Cola.
Coca's Cola.
I'm in.
Great.
Love it.
We're doing ours.
Yeah.
Should we talk about wine?
We've covered everything else at this point now, I think. So yes, let's do it. No, but glad you guys are here. You're not trivial people. Just to
thank you, Joe.
100%. Yes, you're very important to me. But yes, let's get into it. I know you said that we were drinking a red wine from Portugal. So Aaron, tell us a little bit more about this wine today.
Absolutely. So we are drinking a wine from the estate of Quinta das Carvalhas. It's a 2018, and it is made from Touriga Nacional, and that is a grape from Portugal, from the region of Douro. This bad boy has an ABV of 14.5%, but we picked it up for the very reasonable price of around $17.
Yeah, quite reasonable. I'll tell you, I was super excited when you picked this one. Was this Aaron? This was you?
This is a call-ball one.
This is a call-in? Okay, I was excited that when you picked this one, because I've had a few Douros in my day, but I kind of forgot about the region. And we were coming up on what is this, episode 50 right here, and we haven't gone there. So appreciate that you are bringing us there. That's
Episode
awesome.
50.
Yeah, how about that?
That's a nice round number.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Look at
It's
us.
halfway to 100. That's almost a year.
My God.
I got confused. I thought you said halfway to 100 was almost a year, and I was like, I don't.
There was a period
world
between
is
those
100
two
a
statements.
year. Okay.
Is that not how it works? Is there not 100 weeks in a year? I didn't pay attention in second grade.
We may never know.
I too am excited because once again, this is a wine from Portugal. And like we talked about, a lot of times there's a ton of value to getting a wine from a country or a region that doesn't necessarily have the same wine reputation as France or Italy or something like that. So I'm very excited.
I'm really excited too. And part of the reason why I wanted to pick this one was this grape is it's an up and comer. I don't want to talk about the grape too much because we're going to do a little true and false here in a minute where we're going to learn a little bit more. So I don't want to give out any of the answers. But like Aaron said, there's a potential for a great amount of value. And this is a grape that I've personally never tried. So I wanted to see what it was all about.
And also just naming, it's a 2018, right? So once again, we're grabbing a wine for $17 that is, 6 years old, which is very cool. And it feels like that's something that happens a lot in like Spain and Portugal and not in a lot of other places.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you said to halt on questions too, Colin, because I was about to pepper you with a whole bunch of questions. I've never heard of this grape, Touriga Nacional. So, interesting sounding name, interesting grape. So excited to learn a little bit about it. So without further ado, why don't we get into it?
All right. Yeah, we are going to do a little bit of true and false today. I asked ChatGPT, as I like to do, to spit out a name to go first. And today it chose Joel. So Joel's going first.
GPT's going to know everything about you, man. You're going to be the first victim of the robot attack.
Because my name is now out there. I'm the first Joel in the algorithms of ChatGPT.
I just want to point out it keeps picking you first. Ooh. I'm not saying that you should be worried, but each time that Colin has used this to pick someone's name, it picks you.
That's a really good point.
It picks you.
That's wild.
Wow. Now I'm a little nervous. Oh God. Let's play this game.
Don't be relaxed. Let's play this game. Come on.
Joel's under attack.
Nothing to worry about.
This is the only thing you will learn.
All right, so we are going to focus on Touriga Nacional this evening with a little bit of information about the Douro, but we're going to focus mainly on the grape. And a lot of this was new to me, again, because I've never tried this one. I'm not terribly familiar with it. So, Joel, let's just dive into it. Question number 1.
Let's do it.
True or false? Although it is now one of Portugal's most important grapes, Touriga Nacional is originally from Spain.
True.
No, false. Touriga Nacional.
We should just call this game Flip a Coin.
Yeah.
The whole point of this game should just be like analyzing Colin and deciding if we can figure out when he's lying.
That's a good way to play it. Changing my strategy now.
Colin lying.
Yeah, so Touriga Nacional is the native grape from Portugal. You can find it in the Douro, which we're drinking this evening, and also in the Dow, which is another famous wine region of Portugal. All right. So, Aaron, this one's coming to you. This is going to be a little bit about the style. Touriga Nacional thrives in a hot, dry climate.
False.
Nope, that is true. Most of Portugal is...
We're so bad at this game.
Yeah, I know your tell now. I know your tell.
Sorry, if you're listening at home, it's just their reactions is why we're laughing. I know you can't see the reason for the funniness, but just everybody's reaction after the answers is really funny.
We're playing a true or false game where we don't know anything about anything. You should give us the topic ahead of time, and you should ask us to study and see who comes prepared.
I kind of like the Dumb and Dumber, just trying to figure things out as we go.
Watch assholes guess.
Listen, this is all about learning. The game is just a fun vehicle to learn. Okay,
I'm 100% in. So I think
I'll try not to let my frustration stop me from learning.
By the way, I think we just found the name for this segment moving forward. Watch assholes guess. I think that's it. I think you did it. I think you did it, Aaron.
To be clear,
Wag.
And it's just every time we play a video of this, it's just a super cut of us getting shit wrong.
100%. We're gonna wag it out.
And over.
Let's wag it out.
Let's
Go
go.
on.
All right. Tell us the fact, Colin. This is a great game.
So it does thrive in hot and dry climates, which is actually part of the reason why it's on the rise in popularity. Because of global warming, a lot of the cooler wine regions that used to be super cool are now becoming a little warmer. Like Bordeaux is a great example. Touriga Nacional is actually a newer grape allowed in the Bordeaux blend. And it's because they needed something to keep up with the heat because of global warming. All right. So, Joel.
Watch his face, Joel. Watch his
do
face.
this. I feel really good.
This one back to you.
Got it. Go.
Touriga Nacional vines are known for their high yields.
For your listener at home, Joel is just staring at Colin.
I am going to say that is false.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is false. The vines are relatively low yield, which, as we talked about a bit with Amanda last week, leads to rather concentrated grapes because they're not going to be as many on the vine for the vine to send different resources to. So, and that directly impacts the type of wine that the grapes produce, which is what we're going to talk about next. So, Aaron, true or false? Wines made from the Touriga Nacional grape are typically light in color and body.
False.
Damn it.
Yes, that is false. Okay. So the low yields, one of the things that is going to be more intense is the color pigment in the skin of the grape.
Question. So I thought this was a really interesting fact, and I want to make sure I wrap my mind around it completely. Is when we talk about low yield, are we talking about that the grapes are smaller, or are we talking about that there's less grapes that are actually possibly bigger because they're getting more nutrients and whatnot?
So yield means at the amount of grapes on a vine. So a low yielding vine is not going to have as many grapes. And I didn't say this, but the Touriga Nacional grape is also relatively small, which is going to also increase. Yes. So you're right. Good picking up on that, actually, because I didn't mention that. But you have both of those factors working in this situation.
So I think that's such a cool concept, especially the idea of like intentionally pruning back some of the grapes so that the grapes that do, get to maturity have more nutrients, more flavor. That I again, something I've never thought about and thought was very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Joel, this one's for you. True or false?
Yeah.
Touriga Nacional wines often have flavors of dark fruits and floral notes.
True.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Usually find blackberry, plum. There can be some black pepper sometimes. A lot of these wines also see oak. So you'll get some of those baking spices, but you're usually going to find those dark fruits. And it is known for a floral bouquet.
Mm.
All right. This is the last question. And then, Aaron, if you get this right, we have a tiebreaker.
Okay.
Aaron, Touriga Nacional is known for producing wines that have an ability to age.
True.
Yes, that is true. Well done.
Wow.
So with the low yields and the smaller grapes, they're going to be rather tannic wines, and tannin is one of the structural components that you need for a wine to age. So they are absolutely able to age, which, this one is already, 6 years old, we said. So you could lay this down for a couple more years and it would still be as fresh and as fun as hopefully it is tonight.
Cool.
So here we
tied up,
we
baby.
Go.
I'm kind of glad that we're tied because I always love to see the tiebreaker. I really do. So
yeah. Remember, any audible noise, Joel, let's try to go with a short, maybe punchy one this time. I remember last time you went with a silent A in Ooga, which not a great sound.
Yeah, in hindsight, I really chose poorly. So okay, I've got something quick and something snappy ready to go. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. For the win. True or false? Touriga Nacional is often used in the production of sherry, which is a type of fortified wine.
Sing it up. Was that good?
Joel.
Scat. Give it up.
Very quickly I did, yes. I am going to say that is false.
That is false. Well done, Joel, for the win.
Way to go, Joel. Well done.
Thank you.
Touriga Nacional is a very important grape in a fortified wine, but that fortified wine is port, which is the fortified wine of Portugal.
Oh.
So,
I knew that.
and we haven't.
I didn't really know.
Did you really? Oh, okay. And fortified wine, we haven't talked about fortified wine at all. If you're not familiar with fortified wine, basically there's a little bit of grape brandy that's added back to the wine, which increases the body and the alcohol. It can be sweet, can be dessert wine, it can also be dry. So maybe we should try one of those because there's a lot of super interesting fortified wines out there.
Yeah. No, I'd be down for that.
Cool.
And I just, honestly, I've been getting my butt kicked by Aaron on these games lately. So I just want to say it feels good to be back in the winner circle. Thank you. Thank you for the golf claps.
Yeah,
Feels good
proud
to be
of you.
here.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay. Yay.
Oh,
That's
the
all I
dragon's
got.
cheering.
Yep.
If you're wondering what that was, the
Love
dragon
it.
was
Yay.
cheering.
What a cute little dragon voice. Yay.
All right, and that was Touriga Nacional.
2 assholes
Awesome.
guessing.
I believe it was watch assholes guess. Watch assholes guess. Either way. No, that was really fun. Thank you for that, Colin. It really is fun. For some reason, too, I have found that when we do gamify this a little bit, I will remember. I think because when I get something wrong, it pierces me so much internally. I'm like, oh my God, I should have known that. So I actually remember it. So that's awesome. Thank you. All right. So now that we've learned a little something and we've talked about this so much, I'm really excited to give this thing a try. So let's open it up.
Tastes like wine.
All right. Well, I've actually had mine open for a little bit, and I got to say, I did have, I think, a little bit of a cheat in there because I had smelled it a little bit and, gotten a little bit of a preview. So before I share what I've been thinking too, I'll throw it to you guys now that we've had our noses in there. What are you guys getting? Aaron, I'll start with you.
Thank you, Joel. Getting a lot of those like darker flavors, getting a lot of the blackberry, like licorice, those kind of things. Yeah, right off the bat. You're welcome.
No, that was great. Blackberry is absolutely the first thing that I got. I'm getting a lot of plum, and then there's definitely some oak influence. I mean, the back of the bottle says 12 months in French oak. So you get a lot of that. You get vanilla, a lot of those extra baking spices. It smells nice and warm and oak influenced. But on this one, which we've seen in some other ones where the oak influence makes the wine actually woody, this doesn't really smell like wood. It just smells like what the oak flavors would impart on the wood, which are going to be those baking spices. So I'm really excited by that because that's when I see oak, I prefer that style of oak as opposed to that big cedary in your face type oak.
Agree. And yeah, it's honestly, it's just very pretty. That the floral note we've all been talking about is I think front and center. And then what I was going to say too is you're right. It's not the big oaky, in the like wood. I am getting like an alcohol smell in there too. Like it smells like it's going to have some alcohol in there. I know we said it's a 14%er, but I guess maybe that's attributed to the 14.5. Yeah. Attributed to, the aging a little bit in there. But again, yeah, just taking off really nice notes from whatever oak it is seeing in there. Not like bogging it down, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. It still allows that nice floralness and the little bit of fruitiness in there too to shine through.
And can I toss out one more thing? Because I've been trying to work on this when you guys say this, and I want to see if I'm getting it. I know we've talked about the more of like the fruit bomb, like ripe fruit, and then we've talked about more of like the overripe sense. And this strikes me as more of the overripe area. Is that what you're getting? Not in a bad way, just like in that you're not getting that like really bright fruit kind of way.
I'm going to disagree. Actually, a little bit. I don't think
fudge.
No. I mean, hey, listen, there's, again, no wrong answers. But I was going to say too.
Kind of find that one. There are wrong answers.
It's easy, I think, when there's like citrusiness in there to say, oh, it's young, it's bright, it's all that good stuff. I do think it's dark fruit. So, which already, to me, there's some semblance of a little bit of sweetness in there. But to me, it's still a younger kind of dark fruit note.
All right, I'll keep searching to figure that one out.
Yeah, I would agree with Joel. I think it's ripe fruit. It's not overly ripe or cooked or stewed or anything like that. It smells ripe is really the best way that I know how to put it. But it doesn't smell jammy or anything like that. Yeah. I would totally agree with Joel.
To me, this would be like the bowl that's on the kitchen table that you are actively eating from. Like you're going to grab one and enjoy it, Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, no, for sure. And
The bananas are yellow.
Yes.
yes, that is right. Joel, you mentioned alcohol, which you can smell, but it's not overwhelming or overpowering.
Yeah.
It's not an unpleasant experience. Sometimes we've had
Agreed.
wines that, burn when you smell. This doesn't burn. It just you notice alcohol, but it doesn't take away from anything else.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Okay. Love it. Let's give it a taste. All right, I'm going to stick with the same order. Aaron, kick us off, buddy.
I'm going to jump right into the structure-y stuff because I think a lot of the smells that we talked about, kind of go ahead and associate over to the taste, get a lot of that plum and licorice kind of flavors. But the thing that jumps out to me at first is this really nice balance of tannins. It's not overly grippy, but it has like a nice grip, especially around the tongue and the front of the gums, but it doesn't totally numb and tingle your mouth the way some of our big reds that we've had in the past have, but just has this nice kind of grip, especially when you switch it around, and it like kind of slowly departs. But I really like that. It has a nice like medium body to it, nice medium tannins. I don't taste the alcohol, for a 14.5, like it's in there maybe a little bit, but could be a little bit dangerous in the drinking of this guy. So overall, like an easy drinker. Yeah, I'm saying as far as a red goes, a really well balanced structure to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think the tannin is delightful. Really, really nice. I might disagree with medium body. I think it's a pretty full-bodied wine. It sits on the palate pretty heavy. And you do get a little bit of the alcohol on the back end. You get a burn for sure, but again, kind of with the way it smelled, it's not taking away from anything else. And I agree, Aaron. I think a lot of the things we called out on the nose map pretty well to the flavors. You get that blackberry, some of that plum. All those baking spices are there, which is really nice. I mean, you get a little bit of the vanilla, but then you get some cinnamon, maybe some clove. It just smells like you opened up that cabinet, and it's just inviting you in. So that's really, really nice.
Okay. Clove is a really good call. I was trying to put my finger on, and not a lot, but like a little, just like a little bit of something in there. I was thinking almost like a cinnamonness, but that wasn't quite right. And then when you said clove, like, yeah, totally. I am going to say one thing. I want to see what you guys think about this, because to me, I agree with everything y'all said. The flavor notes that we had called out on when we were smelling it, I think 100% come through. The one thing that I might disagree a little bit on is the alcohol. Like, the more I'm drinking this, the more I'm noticing that the end of the sip, like it's there, and almost like not just the burn, but a little bit of that flavor. Like I can taste the alcohol, especially honestly a couple of seconds after the main sip. So it's
what it sounds like you need, Joel?
What's that?
A dragon head aerator.
That wouldn't hurt.
That
would not hurt. It would not hurt.
That would really help out.
I might get me one of those, but no, and I say that not in a it's not taking away anything from me from the experience.
Yeah,
but it's definitely there.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I like about the flavor of this wine is it's definitely fruit forward. Like I think fruit is the winner here. And then all of those nice warm baking spices and the vanilla kind of play a background note. It's almost, it might even almost be even, where you get fruit and some of that baking spice on an even playing field, but one doesn't overpower the other, and they all work very, very well together.
What would you guys pair this with?
Oh, steak, something big, rich. You need something to hold up to the alcohol and the tannin. You want something fatty. Definitely a steak would be a good choice.
That sounds good. Do you have something on the mind there, Aaron?
No, I was just curious. I'm trying to each episode, I really think we should push ourselves to kind of name some good pairings along with what we're drinking. So I'm just, I'm enjoying this wine. So I'm kind of thinking about when would I get this again outside to just, drink? Because one thing I will say is I do not think I would have a partner in this bottle. I think this is a red wine for red wine drinkers. I don't think that someone who prefers whites and dabbles in smoother reds would be into this bottle. I could be wrong. This could be a very unique taste for some people, but I think there are some aspects of this between the bouquet and the balance and flavor that might turn off your casual red wine drinker.
I would say it depends. I think if you like old world European wines, this is very European. This is just like kind of down the middle of the plate, elegant European. So if you're into Bordeaux already, this would be a great.
I think if you like old school European wines, you're probably drinking red wines. I think you know what I mean. Like I think if you're like generally a Sauvignon Blanc or Chardonnay drinker, and like you drink a red with dinner, this might not be your go-to red. But I could be wrong.
I definitely think it's like a little more, maybe a little more aggressive than like you're saying a Bordeaux, Colin, because maybe it's just the alcohol part of it that's making me say this, but like I think that would be the only differentiator here. But other than that, I kind of agree. I still think it's pretty darn approachable. Can I say one last thing here too on this? Because I'm thinking through the one the one structure component we haven't really talked about.
Aaron wants to move the show along.
Aaron's done. Done. The one component we haven't really discussed too much is the acid. And I think it's because there's an interesting thing going on with this, because I think that there's a fair amount of acid in here, but with everything else going on, it's purely there to balance everything out. And it's like, it's not something that is front and center in the experience, but I think without it, we would not be enjoying this as much. So it's like the silent savior, maybe, or not savior, but it's like the silent component in this that is really making everything work. Because when you focus on it, like I think there's a good amount. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because like I did not think about that, but earlier when I was saying something, I had to like stop mid-sentence and kind of like swallow and regain the composure of my mouth, because it is very acidic, and I'm salivating quite a bit, and between that and the tannins, there's almost a little bit of a struggle to immediately start speaking after you take a sip.
Totally agree. Very, very interesting in there. So I don't want to get us too far into just, talking about our experiences here and our thoughts, because let's save that for the review, which is coming up right now.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
All right. Well, since this is your bottle of wine, Colin, per tradition, we will go ahead and let you go last. Aaron, I've been starting with you this entire show. I'm not going to break that. So I'll throw it to you for your thoughts on where you're going to place this bottle of wine.
I like it. I like it a lot. No, it's a good bottle of wine. It's unique. It's flavorful. It would be just a lovely bottle to bring along to wherever. And I mean, I think once again, we're finding wine that is in the same price range as you might find at a supermarket wine that has this brand that everyone knows and might scoff at. And instead, like, we found this really neat wine from Portugal, from a region that people might not know, with a grape that people have never heard of. And it's very, very tasty. So I would be very excited to put this on my kitchen table for sure and share this with my friends and family.
I totally agree. This is another one of those where, to me, I'm sitting here drinking it on its own, and it's fantastic. It's standing on its own. It's making us have one of the deeper conversations I think we've had for a little while as we explore the different notes and what's going on in there, which I think is always cool. But then to y'all's points earlier too, I mean, this would pair very nicely with, you call that a steak, Colin. I was thinking like a nice like char grilled pork chop on there. My gosh, would be so lovely. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can absolutely pair this with something as well. Extremely versatile and really, really cool. So I also am going to put this towards the front, to be honest with you, of my kitchen table. Really enjoy this. And again, I know that I say this all the time, but getting back into Douro and getting me excited to experiment more in there, because I'm really liking what this bottle of wine is presenting.
Totally.
Colin?
It's a kitchen table wine for me too. I think the word here is value. I mean, This is an amazing bottle of wine, like sub $20. That's nuts. It's just so well balanced. The flavors are well balanced. The structure is well balanced. It comes together so well. And this is definitely one that you would probably not try if you didn't know anything about Touriga Nacional. I mean, if you just saw that on the front label, why? I mean, I probably wouldn't. This is the first time I've ever tried it. So this is definitely a bottle to seek out, and definitely a region to explore, like Joel mentioned, really a country to explore. I think there's a ton of value coming out of Portugal, and I think this is just another great example of that.
And my Total Wine, this thing is literally in the back right corner. There are 2 bays labeled Portugal, and all the Portugal wines are just in those 2 bays. And it's a shame. You would never go back there if you are not explicitly looking for a bottle of wine from that section. It's just, like the rosé section is the whole first aisle, and people are just going to grab random bottles because they're looking for something new. Whereas you have these great, these really high value, high quality wines that are hidden in like the quote unquote regional section that no one is ever going to touch because they don't even know what they are to start with,
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to bring this one on, because I was hoping that it would bring the value that I was expecting it was, and I was pleasantly surprised that this is a really good bottle of wine. It's just really tasty, really, really good. Go check this one out.
Absolutely. Go to the back corner of your Total Wine or whatever fine wine establishment you're going to. Give the non-main aisles some love because there are some gems in there. Hopefully Portugal will get a little bit more love here because if this is what they're producing, they should be.
As the sea levels rise.
There you go. Exactly.
No, and look, if you have some wines from Spain or some wines from Portugal that you think we should try, or any other region that is off the beaten trail, send them our way because we would love to give them a shot.
For sure. All right, so there you have it. This is the Quinta das Carvalhas Touriga Nacional from the Douro region, and across the board kitchen table, prominently placed on the kitchen table from the Stop Wasting Your Wine podcast. Clearly not a waste of your wine. And one that we really enjoy. Definitely recommend. Go check it out. And listen, you mentioned, Aaron, if people have other wines from Portugal, Spain, wherever that you want us to try out, to let us know. How can they do that? How can they interact?
Yeah, hit us up on Instagram at Stop Wasting Your Wine. We do most of our communication there. Really great group of people that we're interacting with. Check out our website, stopwastingwine.com. We have all of our reviews on there, as well as what is currently sitting in our wine fridge. Send us an email, stopwastingyourwine@gmail.com. We would love to chat back and forth with you that way. And if you are a wine producer or a wine maker or work in the wine industry and you would like to come on our show, we would love to have you. So please reach out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Aaron. And hey, thank you, listener, for coming and hanging out with us again this week. We really appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you around next week as well. And remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.